Hey everybody, welcome to Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. In today's video, we're discussing Bitcoin, crypto, and the Ethereum markets. So, touching base on the BTC USDT chart, Bitcoin and crypto have obviously been the hotspot in the market with the likes of Mara, Coinbase, Riot, all running superbly in the recent weeks leading up to this, before this previous sell-off in the markets. But needless to say, Bitcoin actually had some very, very interesting price action, and some heavy volume has been starting to creep into the market. So Bitcoin got absolutely clobbered, down about 4.68% off of this Wednesday daily chart candle session. It has opened a new daily trading session and it is slightly down. The big trend line I'm watching is from this pivot high to this pivot, this pivot. It appeared to be a big breakdown occurring here, and then market makers were able to rip it higher. Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is kind of important because it's suggesting a big move, a very, very big move is coming in crypto. And as you can see here, we tried breaking out, had a big reversal back to the downside. Heavy volume on the breakout, heavier volume on the sell-off. That is a big piece of the puzzle that you have to keep paying attention to, because when you have a breakout and then it is met the very next day with a reversal back lower on even heavier volume, that is showing that the price action is not ready to go higher, and it likely means it's going to go down. And to support the thesis that a big directional move is likely coming, and I do think it's lower in the near term, when you start to see the 7-day moving average and the 20-day moving average, so the yellow and the blue trend line, I'm just going to remove this trend line. When you start to see them coiling in a very tight range, just basically trading on top of each other, that's a very, very strong coiling signal, and it's showing that momentum is brewing, and there's a lot of power that is developing in this pattern. Now, most people think of momentum and power to the upside, but momentum and power can also coil, and it could indicate a downward move. So to put into perspective, when we coiled here in a very tight range and the moving averages weren't even overlapping each other here, or on top of each other, you ended up having a big breakout to the upside. Here we're coiling right on each other. It's very, very rare for the 7 and the 20-day to just coil on top of each other. We had the coiling action here on top of each other, very, very close proximity of the 7 and the 20. And then you got that big breakout. You had that very tight coiling range over here. And look what ended up having, a big breakdown. So one way or another, we're going to be getting a big directional move here in the coming sessions, probably within the next maybe even 1 to 14 days. So call it 1 to 2 weeks. Bitcoin should have a big directional break. That direction can be above this pivot high, which suggests that there's a likely move all the way up to 48. But the more probable case that I see is an actual move back down to 38,000. We've tapped this level of support once, twice, 3 times now, 4 times, and we've held it. The odds are that this area is starting to weaken, and we should start to see it test a bigger support level around 38,000 if this pattern wants to go higher. I do believe that we have actually witnessed a failed breakout here on the daily chart. We all know failed breakouts generally cause big directional moves in the opposite direction. So since this breakout was to the upside and it failed, we should see a very strong move to the downside. And I think that downside move is around 38,000 before the next big potential intraday bounce. So if Bitcoin is to fall to about that 38,000, let's just simply draw what type of a decline would that be. And that doesn't mean Bitcoin is done. That's about a 9.5% decline. Let's take a look at the ETH chart. So ETH that one's looking a little bit more bearish. You're actually well below the 7 and the 20. You're actually about to get a bearish crossover of the 7-day moving average and the 20. So I still think ETH has a bigger drop to the downside, which would make sense because ETH is definitely a more levered play compared to Bitcoin. And I do think that ETH trading at this massive resistance level, if you simply look at these massive pivots, a resistance pivot, a support pivot, another support, another resistance, we're basically right into that massive area of chop and consolidation. And I do think Ethereum likely will retest basically all the way down to around 1800, where I'll look to be a buyer. And you can arguably say that there's a little bit of a rounding and topping formation that has occurred. It's not a true technical head and shoulders, but you can count this as like maybe a little bit of an M-top pattern here at the top. So the M-top has triggered a daily close below the neckline, and therefore this pattern could actually yield from the high point of the M to the neckline about a 10% drop, which would put you at about 1977, where we would need to reassess what type of technical pattern we developed there. But overall, I am expecting some downside in the crypto market to continue. That being said, my members and my subscription subscribers have already taken profits on Coinbase short. We also took profits on a Mara short, over double digit gain on the Mara trade. So we have secured crypto profits already in anticipation of a potential bounce. Now, that being said, there's always continuation moves in both directions. So I anticipate a little bit of a continuation bounce in some crypto stocks. But if this downtrend holds true, there should be some more shortable opportunities in the crypto stocks, in my opinion. But they are very, very tough and difficult to often to short and trade. So definitely be vigilant and mindful of the position management. But if you look at the total crypto market cap weekly chart, again, you have this dual parallel resistance. You have your intermediate resistance, and then you have your major resistance. The top level is your major resistance. You can see we've bubbled up there for now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. Sorry, 5 weeks in a row. And we keep getting rejected on much heavier and heavier volume, which is showing me that, hey, the trend here is potentially vulnerable and needs to digest this move even more before it has a continuation move to the upside. I do think crypto can move higher, but it's likely going to move lower before the next big bullish trend to the upside occurs. On that note, if you've enjoyed this video, please check out my tradingcapital.ca Discord. I run a swing trading and day trading service where I track all insider buying and selling. You get exclusive access to all of my trades. We've already closed a great deal amount of trades into the new year. We've closed a nice win on natural gas. We've banked on Tesla short, a Coinbase short, a Mara short. We've basically banked on a UNG long. We've banked on a S&PS short. So we've banked tremendously on some short plays into the new year. And today we actually just issued 3 new trade alerts at tradingcapital.ca. So definitely interesting to see how these new trades play out. But I am optimistic that these long trades will start to see some fruit bear in the near term. On that note, thank you all for being subscribers. Please give this video a like down below, and we'll see you on the charts a bit later.